What a very pleasant welcome, whenever you're listening to us or viewing us. I must mention this is Sports Talk on Intel Sports, the number one platform for sports viewing. This program comes your way this and every Monday, including Wednesday and Friday, on only one platform, Intel Sports. My name is Ben. Chris Walcott is my mate for tonight. We're going to have a very fascinating 90 minutes of conversation entirely centered around football. We have one of the most ambitious young men in Liberian football who has, over the past months, if not year or so, expressed his intent to contest the hot seat at the LFA, president of the Liberia Football Association. We're so privileged. After several attempts to have him on the show, he finally agreed to come. Let's firstly welcome Chris Walker. Chris.
It's a pleasure always being here to serve the Liberian people on a Monday, starting the week. I think it promises to be firing because he's one of the big names when you're talking football nowadays. So having him, it's a good way to start the week, and I'm proud that we'll have Chris finally, and that shows how independent we promise to be. Bring everyone here, and let's discuss the issues. We discuss Liberian sports, Liberian football, because that's the only way we can develop our football. The media play a very crucial role in developing sports or whatsoever society or organization. So you should always serve that balance. And this is why we are here. And we have been paid to do this job for the Liberian people, giving them the best, what they need to hear.
You have to give it the best watch. I trust you, what, because we're going to have a fascinating conversation. I got some personal concerns, questions I'm going to ask Chris's namesake. That's what we'll start a conversation with. But I must also mention that in trending issues, there's been a draw for third division football all across the four major zones of football in Liberia. Fascinating one. It came out today just hours ago. We will brush over that draw for you. The first leg matches are going to kick off between the 3rd and the 4th of July. And the return leg matches not more than 4 days after the first leg. That's in the early July, I must also mention. And then we'll talk athletics, Liberia, going Scar high. And we'll also talk some other issues relating to Painesville and the Painesville Cup preseason tournament, which Chris Walker, after ending the coverage of Dishes 7, he switched attention just outside of Painesville, to keep eyes on the Painesville Cup. My name is Ben. Chris is here. We're back with you with our guest, another Chris. That's in a few seconds. Many thanks and welcome back. There's no other place we can start except in Painesville. I mean, there's a club that have been first third division football a few years back. They won promotion in Barca 2022. In the period of 2 years' time, they played first division football. Not only are they playing first division football, but they won the Orange Cup. Not only winning it, but won the most successful football club in the country, Invisible 11 RE, with a Nantes second main strike from substitute Lawrence Koeman at the 80 years. They're going to represent Liberia at the level of the CAF Confederations Cup. They organize their own preseason friendlies, and Chris Walker has been following.
So the Princeville Cup kickoff today at the Antoinette Tubman Stadium. Not the Antoinette Tubman, sorry. The San Bernardino Sports Complex participate with many clubs participating. And today, in the first match, Club of Farmer defeated third division athlete Chris Lane 2-1. The second match, Discovery, the rivalry between Discovery and Blackman Warrior continue as Discovery held, because I left the field, but Discovery had a very fascinating game, and they were in the lead 1-0 against Blackman Warrior when we left to come and present this show. Tomorrow, there will be some classical matches there. Painesville FC will be in action. Also, the legs of Watanga will be in action. And we have two teams from outside Liberia, one from Nigeria and one from Guinea, will be participating in this tournament. It is the second edition. So it is a preseason tournament. One may say curtain raiser, or what do I say, ahead of the new league season.
It's a dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal.
Ahead of the new league season. Very important for the players to keep shape, as they go into the new football league season. But for me, I'm personally thrilled with Painesville as a football club. I mean, I saw them play third division football probably if you like, you may put it to 42 months ago or 40 months ago.
Same thing with Discovery.
Yeah, to see them in the first division is absolutely amazing. Talking about Discoveries, I mean, one of the fastest growing teams. They were playing academy football few months back. So from third division, they've just took less than 14 months to transition to first division football. That is an absolutely amazing story. But there's one thing I want to talk about, this Discoveries game with Blackman Warriors. That's a superior cracker. And you said Discoveries were 1-0.
Yeah, Discovery were 1-0 up. Less than 5 minutes in the game, and I had to come to beat the trophy. So we will bring you the final score later on during the program, or probably in our next edition of the program.
But did it look Discovery's leg? I asked because they have lots of kids on the team from.
It's the same. It's the same Discovery. I saw a few new players into that team of Discovery, because they are going to the first division. But even the new players they brought on are young guys. There are guys who play in the third division, but they were very excellent with the team, Pepper FC and other teams. And they have brought them on board because I think they want to keep that youthful spirit and not want to spoil the team, bring big names. Like, take for example, Painesville FC got promoted. They brought lots of big names. And while they did that, they wanted a trophy, and they got trophy in that year. But Discovery, I think they're trying to stick to the philosophy. And that was good. Blackman Warrior also looked very good. Same team. And I can tell you, the upcoming league season may be very tough.
Foreign coaches, European coaches.
And I saw the Facel FC coach there watching the game from start to finish.
Even Midnight.
Yeah.
Pardon me if I don't get the pronunciation correct, but his first name is Ivan. But very briefly, before we leave this subject matter about Discoveries, can you confirm reports that the team has been bought by Castle Cole?
Which team? Discovery?
Discoveries.
I don't know about that.
I heard that in the grapevine.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to be a fascinating league season, whatever which way it's going to be. But let's stick with football. I know we talked the third division draw. We just rumble through here. We don't pick all the specific details, but it was held today. 4 different football zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. Some of the notable draws I see: Margibi versus Barca, Rivalry Wentam versus Lupus FC, Susa versus Demois, champions of Barca. And I also saw Being United Nima, champions versus Kusa from Bon. That should be a derby. They're very close to each other. And then from Montserrat here, Downtown FC will take on Kandaka. And the first leg matches of those fixtures will be on the 3rd and the 4th of July. And the second round matches will be on the 6th and 7th. So they're on your screen. You can get a full view of what the draw is very quickly. So there you have the draw.
Yeah, so I think that's a great job. And thanks to the LFA for making it very transparent. Yeah. It's not like first, where you just come on and say, this is the feature.
No, but we can't criticize the people in the past. I mean,
no, I'm just saying.
It's down to technology. At that time, you never had television to do live broadcasts and so forth. So.
Feature will just come out. I know what I'm saying to you. The days of Musability and whatsoever, feature will just come out. Then FC is playing Chris United.
Okay.
Crisco FC is playing Stages FC. Our draw was held. Wow. So I'm saying thanks to the LFA that you make the draw transparent, because that's what we need in football.
Okay.
So I just got the final score. ANL 1-0.
Oh, 1-0 is a fun game. Yeah, 2 big teams. I mean, it's a good preparation for 3rd division football teams. But the conversation, obviously, Labiro Racing, as I said, Athletics, Joseph Famule, always, I mean, flying the red, white, and blue flag. What's the latest story about him?
Joseph Famule and Ebony Morris putting Liberia on the map once more in Elites. So, Ebony Morris became the champions in the 100-meter hurdles. So, she is the champions in Africa, winning the 100-meter hurdle in the African Senior Athletics Championship. Also, Joseph Famler also won gold in the 100 meters hurdle. What that means, they have qualified for the Paris Olympic that will take place in August. Also, a few months back, our hurdles team, also relay team, not hurdles, our relay team also qualified for the Paris Olympic. So that tells you that we are making progress in sports on the international scene, and I think it's good for our country. It just shows that we need to invest more in sports.
Well, if you say the progress is slow, I know Martin Luther King did say, if you can fly, you can run. If you can run, you can crawl. And if you can crawl, but always just keep moving. So that's it. Next, we'll have Chris Jipley. We've been trying to lure him on this platform for weeks, if not months. All the efforts failed. But in a period of just 30 minutes or so, I don't know, he finally agreed to sit on this platform. He's in studio with us. We'll take a break, and then the man in black will address the issues of the LFA. Thank you. Okay, pleasant. Welcome back. Chris Giblewia is in studio. I'm going to read these two paragraphs extracted from a post he did, I think around about lunchtime today. Um,
It was today? Yesterday.
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 Okay. So it's more than 24 hours since he wrote this. But he did write, Dear supporters, I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing to you today with a heart full of gratitude and a vision for the future of Liberian football that I'm eager to share. As many of you know, I'm seeking to become the next president of the Liberia Football Association, LFA. This decision was not being made lightly. It is driven by my deep passion for the sport and my unwavering commitment to seeing our football community strive. And then he goes on to list, I think, 6, 7, 8 priorities. Those priorities, plus our questions, we are going to discuss. Chris, let's say welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always nice. And my first time in the studio is good being here with you guys. And it's always a pleasure talking Liberia football.
So why you been invading us?
No, it's political season. You have to choose, and you have to choose the appropriate time to appear on certain, station with different perception out there. So I needed to prepare for today, and I'm here.
How prepared are you for today?
I've been in football for a couple of years now, so I am very open to the issues. The only thing that I look for when I go to stations is the alignment, the affiliations and things. You have to do your own investigation before you appear on certain media, which I did, and I'm very very much prepared today. Yeah, I'm not doing anything out there. I'm just saying.
What sort of investigation were you doing?
No, it's like I said, it's political, more political. So you have to choose the station you go to and the people that interview you, especially in the heat of football politics. You have to know a few things. So
Okay, I may not know you, and for the benefit of our viewers out there, I've heard you, a young man, very eloquent. I must admit on this. That's a personal thing I said that I want to mention to you. Very, very eloquent. Knows how to articulate his points very well. But people viewing out there don't know who Chris Weah is. You have the opportunity to profile yourself.
thank you. My name is Chris Giblewia. I'm currently the president for Stitches Queen. Stitches Queen plays in the Upper Women's League. I'm also the chairman for the Club Presidents Association of Liberia. I'm a business person by profession. I own a hotel in town. I do for living export Liberian foods from Liberia to Canada. I played football before across this country, and then I ended up playing my professional football in Canada. And ever since I've been involved, I am married, and I have 2 beautiful kids.
Wonderful. Chris, the other Chris. So for the conversation, this
We
is
are?
Chris 1. No,
We are.
And Walker. Stay WW. Okay, Walker. Let's say Walker. How will you, Walker?
Chris.
Yes.
Yes. Listen to your own profile. Now, you are into Liberia, into sports development, and looking at our football. You have an ambition. You posted yesterday, which pushed me that we need to bring you on this program and tell us why your post yesterday. You are saying you want to be LFA president. How do you look at Liberian football? Why do you want to be LFA president?
So that's a very good question. And one thing I've always said when I went on the radio and TV presentations like this, I've always mentioned that the current president has served 2 terms. And I strongly believe that no president has, served 3 terms. And I think by president, he should allow other folks to step in and govern football. With that being said, I'm also aware that there are areas that we've made a lot of mistakes and a lot of errors, and the game is actually declining. Not to take away credit from the president, but to also mention that we think that we can do better. I have been in this game. I have a lot of proven records. I believe that if I was the president of the Liberia Football Association today, I will be telling you how much the LFA headquarters cost from the initial start. I'll be telling you the national team expense. I will tell you that I'm taking $310,000, from a bank. I will be very transparent and open, which I intend, and I mentioned that in my post yesterday, that it has come to the point where, as an association, we must be transparent and open. We must also develop football. Part of my plan is I've been pushing is the naturalization of foreign and Liberian-born players are born in the diaspora as well. So there are other reasons why I think that I should be president, and it's a whole long list.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Like you said, it's a whole long list, so we don't want to jump the interview. For me, I've dotted some questions that I'm going to put to you, and from just speaking now, it's like you're answering some of my questions, so let's just do point by point. Firstly, I want to ask you, what specific issues or policies do you believe, have been the shortcomings of the current FA leadership for which you want to contest the upcoming election?
So in terms of policy and how the president is governing right now the association, one of the biggest mistakes that I think the president made is to assert power to himself by appointing a third vice president. I think that administratively that's a flaw. As an administrator, I will not do that because the statute is very clear on how officials are elected. Outside of Congress, no other body can go ahead and just make a point. The president does not have the authority to do that. He took on an authority that does not belong to him. We have an issue with that. Currently, Judy Seaton is currently occupying two positions. She's a third vice president. She's also an EC member, and that in itself is an issue already. So when it comes to how football is governed, it is being run. The last time you heard the president, he mentioned that he wants he thinks that in his own judgment, he thinks that the national academy should prioritize, our women football international academy. He thinks that will help to promote football. And I say, no, what I will be doing different is I will actually introduce women football into the ISA League. I think that the Inter High School Sport Association is the best place to start because a lot of the kids that get out of high school nowadays, they get out of high school around 15, 16, females. So if you want to build women football, is to also build women football from there. And also rampant mismanagement of funds. You saw the audit report, it was very clear.
Okay, let's pick up on the issues you talk about.
Okay.
Objecting girls playing football in the county. I think the right place is ISA. But do you also consider the code of football that we should try to develop, promote football without segregation? Now, I don't think, in my opinion, I may be wrong, but I don't think a certain gender should be restrictive not to play.
But do you know that the country has kickball?
Yeah.
So it's gender balance. No, it's gender balance. But in terms of developing skills and promoting women football, that's not where you go.
But we can just add.
No, adding to it
school football there. Okay, maybe that would be the priority. Let the president add the interest of school football. But I don't think adding football to kickball, it is not developing. I
can tell you a lot of reasons. I'll tell you a lot of reasons why. These are things that we've been talking against, and it happened quite recently. For example, I'll tell you the reason why it's very important that clubs and the Liberia Football Association should draw a very straight line between how our football is run and how the country is run. I'll give you one example. Josephus, the former referee, the one that is now suspended. Josephus played expelled. Josephus played in the entire league with no suspension, nothing. He goes to the country meet. He made an error according to the FA, which was supposed to be an error. And guess what? He's expelled from football, which affecting him now in the local league. I'm just trying to draw the analogy. So imagine now you're going to have a player from women football going to go play in the country meet, and in case already the league is struggling, in case of infringements, you're going to come in, effectuate that in the local league. It's going to affect it. And besides that, the academy is not meant for talent development. We've seen that it's proven. I mean, the academy is a political league.
It's not meant for talent development.
Unfortunately,
but that's what we are made to understand.
It is not. I mean, there's been come on, you know that. The academy you get.
It's not a different night. You will prove that.
So no, I can tell you it's not.
You talk about the issue of Josephus. I have two questions very quickly. You talk about first. You talk about Josephus. There was this allegation or comment coming from former FIFA bash referee Josh Roger and other referees, former FIFA referees, Francis Sano, that the referee director, manager at the LFA, stay in the corner, determine who wins a game when he sends a referee to go officiate. But since then, clubs who are the victims alleged of what Roger said, I'm not saying anything. SIPA as a body, these are things I expect SIPA to be talking about. They are not saying it. Second question, quickly, you talk about the LFA president appointing Jody Seaton as their vice president. Are you aware that there was a proposal to Congress that a tier vice president should be
specifically
media for women should be appointed by the president. Going forward, all of the vice president will be appointed.
Unfortunately, it's not true. The statute
voted.
Well, you know what the statute?
The only body that is called with the responsibility is the executive committee. I mean, it's Congress. And outside of Congress, no, come on. The president recalled that right now in our statute. If we look at the statute, it's not even there. The president admitted that appointment was in error. At the middle of the night, they went and revised the statute and took that out. So technically, I mean, I was spoken to clause. If we challenge that, it's going to be reversed because right now you bring the statute, it is not there where it says the president can appoint the vice president. Look at the statute, it's not there because it was an error, and clubs did not pick that up. And coming to your question, I mean, coming to what you said about clubs not speaking out on these Josefa issues. When the first occurrence with Josephus, we spoke out. I did. Now in my capacity as SIPA chairman, I've reached out to Josephus. He told me personally that in fact right now the case is before arbitration. He said he has his lawyers. They're working on it. I issued a statement already from SIPA. I have actually engaged members of the FA on that. And
what are they saying?
Well, I mean, the argument is that they said it was a wrong call. And for me, my position is, whether it was a wrong call or not, I think that the timing in which they make the decision the following morning was short. He needed to get due process. They needed time to investigate, recall him from the county meet, prevent him from playing in the county meet, and let him remain in the local league because the decision that he made at the county meet cannot follow him into the lower league. I think that was an error.
Okay, so like I've been saying, as one person that still believe that the Josefa issue with you can be discussed on a different date. Okay. But the purpose for which is to discuss your interest to contest the presidency. Right. We talk about Jody Seaton, third vice president, and she can occupy two positions. Right. But for the benefit of the list, I think you should know that I have alignment with the FA. Right. I want to have you informed that even the president of the FA is an executive committee member. So all 13 officials, are all executive committee members. They are in no way occupying two positions. The president doesn't vote except there is a tie vote. So 13, if we get 6 tie 12, then the president votes. But when we are addressing all of them, they are all executive.
So do you know that Judy Seaton got elected as an executive committee member?
Yes, she is.
And do you know she got appointed as a tier vice president?
And it's a specific
technically, she's currently occupying two positions. So let for argument's sake, let's agree that the president appointed her, and the president has the right to terminate her. Let's agree that the president can terminate Judy Seaton's position as a tier vice president. She still remains an executive committee member by virtue of her being elected as an executive committee.
So what do you think about the tier vice president?
I think that
yes. So that's your point.
That's my point. I think it was wrong by the appointment.
Are you also aware that by the next elective Congress, we will not be electing vice presidents? The president is going to be picking.
It's not going to happen.
Vice president. Why do you say so?
I'm telling you, it's not going to happen because the statute. It's not in the statute.
The statute doesn't say so, but FIFA, the world government body,
we're talking about this. Okay, so when FIFA proposes it's going to come to Congress will pass it. No, we will pass it. If FIFA is proposing that, if FIFA proposes that to us, I know, and I agree. But when they do, we will have to peruse it.
But no, we have to. It comes from the parent body. So if FIFA adopts it, it becomes a law if you let
It's not true.
It's a law.
FIFA cannot make an adoption.
FIFA adopts it. It's going to be practiced by member association.
No, for if FIFA adopts, FIFA make an adoption, it has to come to us. Congress has to look at it and actually vote it to effectuate it. You see, you're not going, not because FIFA passes it, it means that we have to implement it. If you look at FIFA statute in terms of criminality, for example, the issue of criminality and qualifications, there's a big difference between our statute. There's a slight difference, not big. There's a slight difference between what FIFA, statute says and what ours says, and that's what the issue of criminality now is coming up, right? So if you look at, if you want to talk about FIFA runs an organization, we run an organization. That's the reason why when we have issue, we go to CAS. If that was the case, we're not going to CAS. We'll say
CAS is a special code.
We wouldn't go there. We wouldn't go there because I agree.
To adjudicate football matters.
I agree.
You and know that. Football matters don't go to court.
It
don't go to the ordinary court.
No, you can go to court.
No, the
president just told Montgomery to court.
No, but that's not
football. No, on football matters, Montgomery accused the president.
It has to be.
No. He accused the president of financial malpractices, and the president goes to
order court. Football matter.
Okay, George Solo matter went to court.
That was not football.
Okay, George Solo matter went to court.
The issue.
Emma Glasgow situation also went to court.
Guys, they are in jail. It's a fascinating conversation. Hey, guys,
this conversation.
You're very exposed for Uninterexposed. My name is Ben Garba. Chris Jigley is here. Chris Walker is on the opposite end, and we're going to be here not least until 8:30 the evening, probably 5 minutes, a fraction just over 8:30 or so, because it's getting a little bit heated. Let's come back to the issue. Montgomery being sued by the current FA president. That's not a football matter. It boils around the issue of integrity, and the president feels that his character is being dented. If it happens that way, CAS cannot solve such an issue. Issue that boils around integrity, defamation of character, if you like, slander or libel. That's what I want to say.
So let me address that.
Yeah.
Who the president works for?
The president works for football.
Good. The former Secretary General also worked for the president, right? So there are institutions that are within the FA, arbitration, grievance, and other ways you could resolve that matters. Because as a leader, when you go to court, you open a Pandora box for everybody to go to court. If you're the president and you feel offended, the first thing is that you're a public figure. You work for the Liberian people. So, when a strong allegation like that is made against you, what you do is you find a way to resolve it, because when you go to court, it's a precedent.
Strong allegation.
That's what he said.
Are you aware the leadership experts say you should fight for your character at all costs. So we can't make common sense out of defamation of character. You try to make common sense because
no. So what I'm saying is, as the president of the Liberia Football Association, for example, it happened with Musa Beredi. There were accusations from FIFA. People were throwing words at Musa when FIFA actually prevented him from contesting because of integrity issues, right? And people were actually calling Musa Beredi at the time a criminal. He did not say, "I'll go to court because you call me a criminal." I strongly believe that there was another way that the current president who have addressed that, rather than going to court, because he's gone to court, that means football matter in this country can in fact go to court. That's my argument. So Chris, I think this is my reason.
So Chris, let's go to the real issue. You talk about being, you still have intention. You have your vision for change. But just before I come to your vision for change, few weeks or months back, you and Kaseko had a joint probably resolution or press conference saying you are coming together as a team to unseat Mustafa Raji. That was what you guys said. Now you're coming up separately to say you have intention.
The marriage.
What's happened to that marriage?
Yeah. So the first thing is the idea that our collaboration is to unseat the current president is false. Our collaboration with our resources is to develop football as a priority number one. We have things that we discussed.
To work together.
You see it together. We got trips, we got our clubs, institutions, we financially supporting other institutions, and we got programs outside the country that our teams will be going to, and you see the impact from grassroots football.
Hold on.
I want to go into.
May I hold you and just interject? In that presser, Mr. Cole did say that this is a collaboration. This is a ticket that is going.
And that's what I'm going to address now. That's what I was going to address now.
So let's
It is a collaboration. However, we have not decided. Individually, we have our ambition. We made that very clear individually. We have a collaboration. We've not decided who's going to be the head of that ticket. We expect to do that in December. Right now, it's like going to a primary. We have our basis. We maintain it. We talk to our people.
So you guys do the primary to
we will. Yeah, I'm telling you, we
if you
will.
don't, because you have the ticket, will you still?
I will support him.
You support it?
I will support him.
Now, I've heard somewhere, to be honest, let's have a frank conversation. I've heard somewhere that Cassell Cole may be disqualified to contest the election. I don't want to go in the if incident because I want to stick the issue with you and contesting the FA presidency, right? And then it is a game, I'm saying I heard somewhere, it's a game that Chris is, you now, Walker, smartly playing because he knows that Mr. Cole will not be qualified to contest, so we can collaborate. We join forces, we put resources together, ideas, we start soliciting opinions and views and support. And as soon as we get closer, when he is aside because of integrity issue, then I become the next person to step in and we're gonna win.
So, and on the record, I can tell you this: these are conversations we had. My collaboration with Mr. Cassell is in no way ill-intentional. I have decided that I think he has the resources for us to partner.
He has the resources.
He does. I do too. I do. I say because exactly. So I'm bringing. He's bringing his to mine.
Can you give a
He's bringing his to mine.
Resources.
I know
10. What do you offer?
Offer 50. 5. He offer 5. That's what we bring. No, that's what we bring. So the scenario. A lot of people have said that. Listen, no one can disqualify Mr. Cassell Cole other than the committee that will be set up. Okay. The statute is very clear on criminality. Mr. Cassell has hired lawyers that believe that have told him that he's going to be eligible.
Okay.
So we wait to see that. In the event that has not happened, we have a commitment that either one of us is going to support each other. It's clear. We're clear on that. And I tell you right now that if we go to primary and for no reason, Mr. Cassell is clear about the Liberia Football Association to contest, and then he wins the primary, I will support him. And he will do the same for me. In the event that we get to that, and there's no hidden agenda in what we do. I've been in this before Cassell returned. I made it very clear.
This many times. This is politics in the football. Well, we've heard this many times. Before that election, anything is possible. You are going. In some cases, people will play their cards in the chest. Don't want to show to their partner what they are doing because you may have a slight advantage with respect to court issue. Who has been qualified and stuff like that. So you could be sitting in the background, playing your card in your chest or your cassette. We inside this a team together, we go in together. And once you know cassette has been disqualified, boom, it's my chance. But
the collaboration is not just down to me and Cassell. Right now, we in talks with other individuals to come and join us that have expressed the intention
to be EC members.
No, not EC member. The FA presidency. There are other people that have expressed. There are other people that have expressed the intention to be president, and we in talks with them to bring it into the collaboration. Our goal is to get all the oppositions together and form a team, and then at that point we can decide and get a one front to go and to go into the election.
So Chris, okay, you talk about your vision. You talk about transparency. Inadequate support to players and coaches, poor infrastructure, and insufficient grassroots development have held us back. How do you intend to solve these problems that you include into your vision?
Yes. So what you just read, you read where you saw that it has held us back. It does not mean there's not been significant strides towards that. If you look at what I wrote, it does not mean the president has not implemented some of those things. Okay. Some of the things that he's done to his credit, building infrastructure, right?
But he said,
there are issues. That's I'm going to that issues. For example, Tusa Field. You look at the time interval between teams. One team is playing, the other team will be outside dressing. Before you go on the field and two teams in the dressing room, the seating capacity is very small in the first place. You can see that this gone league games, our female teams, my team, for example, had to play 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 a.m. And that 12 is very hot.
If you want to build a vibrant youth league, they don't play at that time. The infrastructure, it's terrible. No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
The stadium is in cover.
I'm not talking about the stadium capacity, the stadium itself. And that's something we're going to push for, that women should not be played at that time. But in terms of the infrastructure itself, there's low sitting capacity. Some of the tough, they are terrible. When you play football, you play on the tough. Okay. When you know they are terrible from possessions.
I think there's only one tough that has that problem.
That's bad infrastructure. The scoreboard. That's bad.
The scoreboard. Go to the scoreboard. Let's do
it's infrastructure.
We are please give me the chance. Okay. The time is yours. You're going to have to wrap. But here is a point I want to make. We have 8 or 10 football clubs, female football clubs, before the ascendancy of Mustafa to the presidency. Right? 8 or 10. Somebody has to correct me if I'm wrong. I think 10.
I give you his credit for that.
10.
I know where you're going.
But
I'll give you the credit for that.
Female football clubs, we've got pretty close to 70 plus. So before we have only 10, if all 10 play together, we need 5 venues. Assuming we've got 70, and those 70 clubs are playing together, we need 35 venues across the country. So that boils all down to the fact that once the clubs have increased in the lower league, and then the number increased from 10 to 12 in the upper league, there has to inevitably be shortages of venue. So, which is why we play 10 and 10:30.
I don't think so. I want to ask you a question.
Ben,
The men's league often starts at 3 or 4 o'clock.
No, sometimes 1 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, let's agree. Yeah, let's agree to that. We think that we've gone through this through our playing. We think that there are room in in fact, if you want to even make it better, you can have these guys playing during the week. But the issue about going to school, because that's it, during the weekdays. Weekdays, but I know the argument. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, weekdays. But the argument again is that when we had this conversation to examine the league, the argument is that these girls have to go to school. Now, I defeated that argument because while it is true they have to go to school, they are getting paid for playing football.
What pay?
Football is a very professional
minimum
sport.
wage is 5,000.
These girls are getting paid for play. When we start to look at football as a profession and consider these people to be professional players, you see all foreign players that comes into the country. You know what other clubs are doing better because they have foreign players. Those foreign players do not go to school in Liberia. They don't have to worry about going to school. They concentrate on playing football. So we should look at football for female football as being professional and give them the opportunity to play during the course of the week. Once we get there, my club is bringing foreign players into the country. I wouldn't have the problem that I had last season when players have to go to school. I would utilize the 5 that the statutes, the rules allow me to use.
Mr. Weir, let's be honest with the conversation. You said that these girls are getting paid for playing football.
Right.
But there's been enormous of complaints that these girls don't even take pay. We know some of the issues they're having with clubs, who some of them don't even get their subvention money on time because they are not making payments or payment of salaries or agreed salaries or compensation to these girls. I don't want to call other
But do you know why it's not happening?
Secondly, playing weekdays, not only a school problem, you have to consider economic value or economic reason for which you can play in a week, because those clubs are almost impoverished. They always need money to take care of some needs, practice session.
So that's the logistical issue we're talking about. That's where the Liberal Football Association has also failed miserably. I'm telling you, if you look at the funding that's coming from club, which is why we ask the president to get money from somewhere. You're spending $10,000 on generator repair a year. You're spending another $10,000 on lawyer, which you only had one case with CISA. You're spending money where you can actually go and take 100, 200, 300 and bring it back into football and give for what we requested. The clubs are struggling because the president has refused to allocate funding for the clubs. When players are not getting paid, it's because money is coming from club owners' pocket, and it's very difficult.
Is it the responsibility of the FA to empower the clubs financially? That's why you say.
Okay.
So on your leadership as president of the FA, you are going to empower all the clubs. Quite recently, there was an election where you voted at Congress against the budget because you wanted a 4,000 increment
Correct.
for the clubs. So you were telling me when you become president, you're going to give the clubs even more than 17, 18,000.
Yes. What I
Where
promise
do
I'm
you
going
take
to
the
do.
kind of money from?
Yes, what I promise I'm going to do. In my portfolio, as part of my plan, I've said that we will include agriculture into football. We will ensure. That's what agriculture. Agriculture.
That's what the first one.
Yes, how? Those are ideas that you need. How? For example, Chris, Beta Cola. I purchased Beta Cola at $1. I sell it in Canada for $1 for $1.25 Canadian dollars. I don't go, for example, I don't go playing Beta Cola. I got people that go and pick it up. Those are things that you can have clubs do and create a market for it. We have a clear strategy on what we think we can bring agriculture into football. It's 5 years. It's in our 5-year plan.
It's a long term.
So the president is. But you did not have 5 years. When it comes to it, I said it's a 5 years developmental plan. You don't have 5 years. I do not. But
So
it's
if
a
you
5 years.
Good.
That's why I say it's a 5
So
years.
you're going to your second term.
It doesn't necessarily have to be me.
So how many terms you want?
The next president can go
How many terms
after
you
that.
want? How many terms you want?
I know you're going to get me out. So no, to be in all fairness, the presidents and the current leadership mindset is built around money. They think that the clubs wants money from FIFA to empower these clubs. No, there are areas. Look at what happened recently. Based on the performance of our youth team, the female team, you saw businessmen Benena gave us $1,000. You saw Castle Kuwa, for example, making a $5,000 donation. When the teams are doing better, which plays down to our naturalization part of our plan, when the teams are doing better, when the national team is winning games, you get individuals putting money into football. You don't need FIFA money. Right now, we depend on FIFA money because there's no innovation in football. If you got business people and people that are very innovative and bring ideas to the table and say, let's look outside of FIFA, let us build this together and let's work together, you get a better result. We can do it. I have done it before and I know how to do it. In this country. Right in this country. With my team, right now, my club, Stages Queen, for example, is the only business. Of course, I'll let you answer that. Stages Club, the Stages Football Club is the only club that paid players 1 month before the league even started. We paid them 1 more prorated. On top of that, we created job opportunity when we were building our Cabana hotels. We make sure that our players will go and do a little bit of work here where they have extra money to do that. Unfortunately, that year, because of some personal crisis that we had, this season we did not.
Was it forced for all the players to go and do that?
No, it was not compulsory. It was optional. It was optional, but we created job opportunity. I think that there are areas that. See, I don't take the credit away from the president when it comes to women football. In all fairness, I think he has developed women football to a certain extent, though he would have done better, which he has not done. His 2 years finished. He needs to give us the chance.
2 years of
his 2 terms is over. He needs to give us the turn.
What do you talk about this touring team? The president, the statute, he has the right to contest 3 terms. So what do you want him to leave the work he's done in his second term or so, if you like, and you think that he should not continue in your third term, when it is not criminal in nature?
No, I think the president is a good man. Between you and myself, and mark my word today,
so what you don't
I don't think he's going to contest. When I think he's a good man, I don't think he's going to contest a third term. I think he's going to do the right thing to not contest the third term.
What makes it right? Because it's not
a violation, but there's a precedent that was set. There has been no president that has contested a third term even before him. So why he wants to do it?
He wants to make history.
No, he cannot, because he's not the only person that has the idea to run football in this country.
You wait for your turn.
No, well, it's going to come. I'm very young. It's going to come. But by virtue of what they call precedent and reality, and talking to the president today, I want to look in his face as I talk to you through the monitor as a president. I want you to do the right thing. There have been no president that has contested third term in this country, and we think that you're going to ruin your legacy if you insist that you're going to contest a third term. We think that it is about time that you allow other people to run football. We will honorably give you what is deserving. We will honor you in this country. We will make sure and tell Liberians that you play your part, but there are times that it is about time that other people do what they have to do.
Okay, so we are. For me, I'd like to go to your post. I would love us to go to a bit by bit. You talk about support, inadequate support to players and coaches. How? Now, coming down further, you talk about transparency and accountability. How will you do it, and how you think the LFA is not doing it?
I'll start from transparency. Number one, if I'm going to take a loan from GD Bank to help to subsidize the elephant project. I will make that a disclosure, a public disclosure. I will let the stakeholders know that today we're going for this loan. Let's come and have a conversation. This is what is good. I wouldn't wait for my Secretary General to come and tell me, say no, to come and tell the public that this building is not this cost because we took a loan.
So which situation are you referring to?
The situation between the money that the president took from GD Bank to put towards the headquarters project, which eventually was from FIFA.
Let me check on
That's the situation.
Let me check on this a little bit. Probably you may want to say I'm a little biased.
No, it's okay. No, I still have a research before coming here.
So you're researching on me. So here's the point. Here's the point.
What's your name? No, please.
Just leaving. Okay. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Mr. Weah.
Yeah.
You talk about the incident with the loan, right?
Correct.
I'm going to be frank on some issues.
Mm-hmm.
I saw documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
I saw signatures.
Mm-hmm.
I saw approvals of the loan. Executive committee member, your good friend, Wilmot Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and you so rest in peace, Evan, Flomo.
Mm-hmm. Heron
Flomo. Current vice president for administration, first vice president,
Mm-hmm.
Sekou Kone. All those executive committee members were communicated to, and they all affixed their signature approving this loan. So if you sit and say, I will not go to the bank and take a loan from GTB bank and don't tell the executive committee, then I don't know.
So you finished now? Wait, you finished now? So
I can make a follow-up.
no, I want to make some clarity on that.
Yeah.
The responsibility for disclosure lies on the president. We did not know about that loan
Until Montgomery utterance or his utterances.
But what did he communicate to you?
No, I don't do that. What did he tell you? He does not bear the responsibility to do that. It's the president's responsibility.
He was in charge of that.
I cannot go to Wilmot Smith in terms of accountability or who reports for the FA. It's the president's responsibility to come and say,
So it's not a violation.
No, the president, see, the president of an entity and something wrong happened, which stakeholders
The president takes the blame.
The president takes the blame because
I-
he's the head and he's responsible for disclosure. Which I still believe that the president will have come and told us instead of hearing it from his steward, and then it become a scandal. Then it end up going to court.
Scandal.
Yes, of course.
Let's exclude the court issue.
Yeah.
But
Okay, we'll leave that.
What's the point?
But I don't want you to say why I did not go to Wilmot. I did not know about it until
I said, why he didn't tell you?
I can't speak for him, but I think the responsibility.
I don't trust that.
Well,
I don't believe that they lecture you.
No, he did not.
Lectures and conversations.
No, we talk about
That would be the least. That would be the least you would say to you.
No, Mr. Smith has never wanted brought it up.
So the first thing you heard it was when
I said it. When I said it was the first time I heard it.
There is a point I want to ask about this headquarter. It was documented 1.5.
Yeah.
I think 1.4 now, something like that.
1.4,
Later
yeah.
on 1.5. And then it's gone up to 1.8 something as everyone says.
Yeah.
But I want to put it in practical terms, right? This water is sold out there for $1, right? And the president goes, or somebody goes and buy the water, and they come and tell you, say, oh, I bought the water for $1, but apparently the price had increased, and they didn't say the price increased, but then they reported that you said, oh, I bought this water for $1. And then Chris, a worker comes out and said, no, but this water was bought for $1.50. Then actually, they didn't pay $1. He paid more than $1. The point I'm making here is that why will somebody wants to underestimate a project? Because most of
It's
them
estimation.
the president underestimating.
The president who said what? I want to be.
No, he's underestimating. Yeah, $1. This is $1.
No, he said approximate the word. That's all I want to get from. He said approximate. Approximate never exceeds. It's closer to him.
I agree with you.
So he was.
So my point is, why am I going to buy this water $1 and I pay $1.50, and I'm going to?
So you know what? I would say. No, what I said.
You know what you're going to say?
No, what I would have said. If I purchase this water for $1, right? I will come and tell you $1.50.
Okay.
And the water is sold for apparently is sold for $2, right? I will come and tell you that I purchased the water for $3. You know why? Because in mathematics, in financial knowledge, when you overestimate things, it's easy to justify the reduction and do a refund. But when you come and say approximate means It is either 5 or 4 or 3. It can approximately cannot exceed the number that you call.
So
That's
my point is, why will I want to buy this water $2? I spend $2, and I come and tell you, say, oh, the water it was $1 or $2.50. Why would I want to? In the event where I want to take some of the money, and I will go and buy a water that is sold for $2.
In estimation,
I will buy it for $1. And I come to you say I pay $2. Then I take $1 for myself.
Estimation,
but the point I'm making is that
in estimation, there is something called miscellaneous. That's the reason why you, for situations like this, you create a room for that. You leave room for miscellaneous. So when something like this happens, you're able to.
So the point is, the president is in a fundamental error. Not more to that he wants to take money from the FA.
Yes, that's my point.
That's the point. You think the bonus around
interpreting.
Okay.
I think he was not truthful. Now, I'm not saying that the president took money to put it in his pocket. I don't think Mr. Raji would do that. I don't think that was his intention. But I think that he was afraid that if I tell these folks that this is how much the building costs, it's going to cost a backlash, which it actually did.
And you think integrity is a strong
integrity is an issue because I feel that the president was not outright to tell us. We had to hear it through his former steward, and then we started questioning it before we knew there was an audit report that was very bad.
My friend asked you didn't answer that question. How do you intend to tackle the issue of accountability?
That's what I said. Okay, that's not the only thing. I'll tell you, right? I'm a strong proponent of privacy. I'm a very strong proponent of protecting people's rights to the salary and that. At the same time, I know in this country, majority of the things that happen in terms of making away with money. I don't want to use the word. I'm trying to be very careful on the terms that I use. Financial impropriety, most of it that happen in this country happen on payroll. The meeting we had with the president, when I said that people were laughing, there's a reason why I asked for the payroll structure of the FA. And it turned out to be, at the end of it, we saw what happened, that the FA downsized, yet and still in its one budget, increase the money in the wage bill. You downsize employees, you increase the wage bill. So my argument to that, that will do different. As
I don't want to say that they're not downsized.
Okay, they're not downsized. Let me say something.
People over age.
Then, for example, all the institutions that I work with in Canada is very clear on how much money that I make or how much money that I made when I was working. Other countries, other agencies in this country do the same thing. I think it's important that the FA talk to employees and through the HR be able to disclose salaries or what they make. These people are public. Not to the public. It doesn't have to be to the public. But we need to know. We need to know. That's why it's negative.
But it's not going to go to
no, you can't. Ben,
do you think the executive committee don't know
there's something I'm going to do different. That's my argument. Something I'm going to do different. You ask me what I'll do different. I can show that transparency in terms of salary structure is disclosed. Let everyone knows how much people makes. There's nothing about salary that is criminal that you should hire. I'm just saying. So the argument, our argument with that now is we are aware that the FA downsized. But then in the budget,
not downsized,
retire. People retire, but still get inflation. And they're not going to get the same money they were making when they were employed by the
because they're not offering services no more.
Good. So obviously you cannot increase the wage bill.
No, the wage bill wasn't increased, but additional people were employed. And mind you, the activities of the football also have become more. 2 years back.
Doing what then?
I hope you're comfortable.
No, I'm very interrupting you. No, go ahead. Yeah,
So like I was saying, activities back then with the FA wasn't much. For example, we never had grassroots football running effectively. I don't like to call regime names because I think Musa Benitez did his best, right? But at that time, we never had U10, U12, U15, all our various national teams being activated, U17, U15, male, female, U20, and so forth. And 2 national teams activated actively, right? So when you activate all those number of national teams, you need various staffs to work along. Take, for example, women football. Most often solely being sponsored by the FA itself. That U17 team the FA was running that made news that went to Austria, that team was fully sponsored by the team, by the LFA itself. So they were paying coaches and they were paying member of the staff, the cake managers, and so forth. So that is inevitably going to increase the wage bill. So when you hire more people because you got more work to do, the bill is going to spiral.
As a business person, as an administrator, you do not always have to hire people to do different set of jobs. You can have one person doing two different. You can cut down. There are ways you can redundant. There are ways you can reduce your wage bill. It does not have to be that because this person is for women football alone, so they sit here and work for women football. It should not be like that. You cannot have, for example, if you want to even reduce the wage bill, you cannot have the media manager have assistant media manager. You understand that?
But do you understand the portfolio?
I understand that. Yeah, I'm talking what makes financial sense. I'm trying to say it has to be
the works are enormous.
It has to be tailored to your own financial situation at your football level. If you think that the wage bill is lower and you risk that to increase it, look at responsibility. How are you distributing responsibility? Who's doing what? What are they doing? Those are ways that as an administrator, you start to cut down in certain areas and save money. Yet still, you still got, do you know people, you work to the FA, you know how many hours you guys work over there? People go to work in the morning 9, sometimes they leave at 5, 6 o'clock. The entire whole day sitting to the FA. So if you want to...
Sitting what? Doing nothing?
No, I'm not saying doing nothing. I said sitting at the FA for 10, 15 hours a day, right? If you want productivity, even with a little group of people, you can increase their salary. The little group
what is going to happen in that case? You're going to be overloading workers at breaking point.
No.
That's what you're going to do.
No. You know what it's called? It's called adding value to what people do and compensating them. There are other things you can also incorporate into that. Employees appreciation. What do you do for people? Look, Ben, when you please your employees at work, they can do anything that you wanted to do as long as people are satisfied. They're not going to the FA and they're, I'm going to that place again, right? Your working environment is very essential. And those are things that when I get to the FA, when I do become president of the Liberia Football Association, it will be the best place for people to work in this country.
You want to downsize?
Okay, guys, we have to take a break. It's getting a big heater. We have to take a break and to be right back. So you can see the guys are trying to re-energize themselves. So we are taking this break to be right back on Sports Talk.
Let's say welcome back to Intersports and Sports Talk. Ben is my name. Chris is here. Walker Chris is on the other side. We have our middleman in black. He wants to be president of the Liberal Football Association. He'll be our guest on tonight. We still continue asking him some tough questions, even though we put this smart, serious thing. Okay, you made a point in your post that has to do with the FA not prioritizing or developing grassroots football that much. Before this leadership in 2018, there was no grassroots football whatsoever in Liberian football. Never has there been. This is a FA that has U10, effective U10 league running. They play Saturday because the kids don't go to school on Saturday. Effective U12. There is a specific stadium that competition is being held, Bluefield, PHP there. It was renovated for that purpose, refurbished with dressing rooms and so forth. The kids play there on Saturday. Also, we've activated U12, U15, U17 national teams. How do you say we don't have effective grassroots programs?
So our under 17 team was disqualified for age cheating. Okay. And that was as a result of the president's inability to verify those kids that he took out of the country. At a certain point, he said the parents provided the information, and it was a complete national disaster and embarrassment. When Mr. Kasako took players from here and took them out of the country to Sweden when they came back, up to today, there has not been one release from the president or from the FA to say congratulations on what you do. There are areas that the FA has erred in terms of, like I said, personally, and everybody knows my position, I gave the president and they elevate the credit where it's supposed to be. They have made some strides in grassroots football, but it is not enough. When our clubhouse got burned, up to today, as we speak, we've never received one phone call from the president of the Liberal Football Association where we have our youth team staying. Never called us to say what's the issue, what happened, or is there a way the FA can help?
But that's a social issue.
It's not social. It's developmental issue. It's the president of the Liberal Football Association. You're going to take kids from here and take them out of the country, and you overage them, and you say you develop grassroots.
No, I'm talking about the phone call.
Okay, go back. It's not social. No, it's not social.
That's social.
It's his responsibility. We had you.
I think what he's trying to say
in that area, right?
So I think what he's trying to say. No, I think what he's trying to say is it's not about the core.
It's developmental.
Then I think it's not about the core. It's about a member of the association that is affected, and you never so you're not developing football because do you know that 2 of our foreign players' passport got burned in that process? We have to look for money. We have to fix clubhouse and talk to owners for that property.
But those are
we have our youth programs. We have our youth players.
Well, how is it good?
Developmental issues are not just people go and kick football. It's psychological. For you to develop a player, it's not because you create playing pitches to go and kick football. As a science student, as I am myself, there are psychological issues that has to be dealt with. For example, when these were the kids that left from here and went and was overage, most of them came back to this country. You know what happened with them?
No, you said 2 players were overage.
Okay, most of them came back. You know what happened with them?
Most of them are going to Europe now.
So even when Cassell took those kids, they were hoping that when they come back, they'll be received at the airport, welcome, with all the places they reached out. The president has never sneaked us. It's not personal. Somebody is investing money and developing grassroots football. You say it's personal
because football is business.
Okay, it's business, but then when we come there, that's what we're going to do. That's what I said. It is not adequate what the FA is doing. If you have an academy in this country, even though you think it's business, once the player develops for that academy, where they're going to end up to the national team. So how can you just say it's business? You have to cater to people when they need you the most. That's part of development. Development is not like a big student and you have a leagues program here and there, and even at a certain point, you
still stadiums have been built, which is
the stadiums were initiated. To his credit, he enforced it. No, I mean,
initiated.
Okay, but initiated. Musa Dele, for example,
he always said that he gave.
Yeah, but you asked the question. That's what I mean. So that's what I mean.
So that was the end point of it.
So the football pitch is not even a portion of grassroots football development, as I've said, the FA has not done. It is not. Inadequacy has to do with how many times you go to these clubs
teams' practice ground to see their youth programs. Are they structured? Are they running? Has the president ever gone to Castle to FC Fasel Academy?
You don't talk about FC Fasel. I don't know someone that need making them.
No, you have not gone to that one.
So guys, we have the pen. I think you can just read out the numbers because
we'll ask the guy in the production to pin the number.
I think it's been
on the screen there. Pin the number 0777 553 994. So that's if you outside the country want to call on WhatsApp, it's plus 231 77 777 553
776. I'm seeing
777.
So it's 777. So what is on the screen is 776.
I'm looking at the screen here and not seeing anything. I don't know where you're reading from.
Yes, 77.
So it's 777 553 994.
Okay, so I just hope Rufus, our guy, can just change the 6 to 7.
So you know what we
So you talk about overage players and whatever, because that will come to the national team. In your opening statement, you talk about naturalization of players and whatsoever. Are you aware that these things don't happen in football now? To play for a country, you must have a route to that country. How do you think having players with that foreign mentality will change our national team? And what do you make of our national team now?
I do not have explicit confidence in the national team right now. I think that we are not at that level, and I've been very open on my section. I don't think we are at that level for football, ready for continental football. I don't think so. Are we doing better? I think there's a different style of playing that we all getting accustomed to now with this new coach. Is the kick and photo football? Liberia is kick and photo. It's not Liberia's style of play. We used to the tau, popping football with the success, right? So the success we saw Keita from the under 17 team that Keita was managing. We saw what happened to that team. That team who have actually played football and you get off your seat and be cheering. Now I'm not saying the coach is not doing better. We have to get used to other things, and we get used to this one. But I don't think the national team is there yet. If you look at the Europe now, that is ongoing, you see Belgium's team. We talk about naturalization. It brings in competitiveness. It brings in experience. It developed locally. We got naturalization and grassroots football.
Do you process? You talk about naturalization. Sorry for interrupting.
I want to talk about the link. It's a whole long talk. I want to talk about the link. Right, there are specific requirements from FIFA. You must either your grandparents or parents.
It's not naturalization.
No, it is. No. Listen to what I said. There are two. There are naturally born Liberians that left from there and acquire other nationality in other countries. Right. There are those that has they have not played for the Rebel War. They have not played in your country, but in continental African football. The little man in Total has lived in Grand Gile, has lived in Ivory Coast. You know that. There are people that live in Port Waterside, for example, that do live in Sierra Leone. We eat the same cassava leaf. So to create links in this sub-region is not complicated at all.
But you got taking from Brazil.
No, I never said take from Brazil. I only said President don't take it from Brazil. I didn't say I will go take it. What's that? It's still happening. I still doing it.
Have you followed FIFA
regulations? I know that. I know that.
You must have a link.
And those links can be created. That's what I'm telling you.
Create those links?
Of course. You know how you create it? No, it does not have to be too rough. Your grandparents, for example. Your grandparents can be born in Liberia, and you are not born in Liberia. You can play for Liberia.
But there is a link.
No, it's a link, but it's not about birth. How do you know that Mamato Zuoku, for example, that was living in Total, they're not born in Sierra Leone, or they're not born in
So my grandparents. So that means my grandparents, my father. It's from Liberia.
Your father, exactly. Your mother.
And my father born me, and
his parents were Liberia.
So
that makes you eligible.
Yes.
So your grandparents, when they were in this Liberia, you weren't here. There are no link. You have the link. That's what I said. The link can be created. We can look for the link. For example, Christopher, who knows if you're born in Sierra Leone? We got to go for your parents there. I mean, I'm just being practical on how these things is done. It is not magic. Other countries doing it, man. Other countries doing it. You got naturalization. You got people go to other country and acquire other citizenships.
So we are. on that subject matter.
Lawrence Doe, for example. Lawrence Doe, for example.
At that time,
was he born in Equatorial Guinea?
At that time, the resolution wasn't in
Good. So no, it was changed. It was there. It was there, but it was changed now. It was tougher.
Before
FIFA has made it tougher. FIFA has made it tougher now.
It was 5 years.
Exactly.
Residency, right?
Exactly.
That was when Lawrence Doe had a chance to play for Equatorial Guinea.
Because he was playing.
Let me
like I said,
cases.
let's talk about Alfonso Davis, for example, right?
Okay.
Born in Ghana to Liberian parents, acquired Canadian citizenship.
Through residence.
Through naturalization.
At the time.
No, through naturalization.
The regulation was not stiff on you having a root.
And do we have a call there?
It was.
I think.
No, we don't have one. When and if we have, I'm going to put it on. We don't have a call that wants to come up. But there was
in our plan, what we said, the first thing we're going to prioritize is to set up a base of scouts, Liberian professional scouts. I've always mentioned Coach Machine and other people in America. You set it up. We're going to go after Liberian born that are playing out of the country that have links to Liberia first. As a matter of priority, that's what we're going to do.
But we're still doing that right now in our country.
No, it's not.
How do you think we brought Brent Samaru? He's almost played for Seth Heber. How do you think we brought Seth Heber? One German parent. How do you think we brought Adonko, the Ghanaian Liberian born? How do you think we brought
and what happened to
How do you think we brought No, that's not the point.
No, and what happened
We're discussing the result right now.
What happened to
discussing the
naturalization? And I'm telling you because naturalization has different components. The players that you just mentioned, right?
So they're not good enough.
I've not. Come on, of course. If they were good enough, we're going to be playing in. We're going to be playing in the African Cup of Nations.
But then you
players or the technical staff or support
the process.
One minute, Chris. Is it the players, the technical staff, or the LFA or government that is responsible for our team's performance?
How is that the responsibility of the FA if the coach recruits the wrong, according to you, Liberians?
My coach is not going to do that. Like I said, we will sell.
Which coach you have?
Liberian coach.
Where are you taking your coach from?
Liberian coaches.
You will not use foreign coach?
I do not think I have to. I'm telling you this.
You don't believe in foreign coach?
I do not think that I have
to. So you don't want to see Mario Marika?
I can say them a kickball the follow you.
Do you want result or you want a style of play? Do you want result as an FA president? If you are, I can get elected as the FA president.
You remember those days? They used to say Joya open it, Dira close it, and Tower football. We won combination of that and a win. We won.
What was the achievement?
Plenty. We won the two African Cup of Nations.
You have two nations cups.
Two nation cups.
In the space of how long?
So the point is, we have Liberia has, just like you see the Brazilian have samba, Liberia have a way of playing is Tau football. And we got coaches in this country that can implement that. We got
players that can do that. More than time. Chris, it's not more than football. You don't question win. If I'm not, it's a win.
It's a win.
Nobody questioning his style of play.
I'm questioning his style of playing
because he's so successful.
Because
we were criticizing the FA and the national team for being lacking behind.
Are you satisfied with the current national team?
I'm not content. I want to see better than that.
But I can't do it current.
Yes, I think
you beat South 1-0.
It's an improvement. It is an improvement.
That team, what time can beat them?
You being comical.
No, I'm serious. Nigeria beat them 7-0.
If Nigeria win 7-0, we play Equatorial Guinea here. That team beat us 1-0. That team beat the African champion 4-0.
I strongly believe that the current coach, based on his style of play, and I've done a little research about him, by the way. Based on his style of playing, that's what he knows how to do. But I don't think it's sustainable. I do not think that very soon he will end up going like the other coaches, because Liberians are not used to playing the way he wants them to play.
It's getting results, and it has to come with time. You want to see beautiful football, all that comes with
time. It's not a coach that can give us beautiful football.
So beautiful football,
you can give us beautiful football.
We need both.
How do you get both?
You can get both by getting, number one, like I said, as part of my plan, You get professionals that are based in the diaspora that will get you quality players more than what we reported before.
Why are the qualities you have outside that you
We got a whole talent pool. You see, the thing is, I want happy to have a program on naturalization. Let's talk about it. It's a more deeper thing that we can discuss. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, so it's very clean, it's clean, and it's going to yield result. It's happened here before, and we can do it again.
You are praying?
I'm it's been everything. Have you done it before and it worked? Yes, some people did it right in this way. Some of them did it right, it worked. People will say that back in the days, but other countries are doing it. For example, Belgium is doing it. Look how many foreign players Belgium has. Yeah, but that's what we create our link.
No, they've got link.
We will create. That's what I said. We will create the link.
We've got link with Belgium.
I'll tell you this is how to create a link. For example, though, you know that SC Fashe is bringing foreign Nigerian players to come and play in this country.
Okay.
Do you know that? Some of those Nigerians, Kalon FC, Kalon FC. Some of those. I said Kalon FC.
Are you supporter of Kalon FC? No, we will soon be. That's why.
No. But they are a team now. I did not even say we. I said, are you aware that Kalon FC or FC Fatidara said Kalon FC is bringing players from Nigeria to come and play in this league? Those Nigerians that are coming here, do you know that they were here, they were ECMO here, they born here, and they took them to Nigeria?
How do you know that?
But we know because that's the program. That's part of naturalization. That's what I'm telling you. You have to create a link. You go after specific players. No, I'm telling you, this is something we studied then. Don't worry about it.
You're being just talk with me, Ben and Chris Walker. We've got Chris Weah as our guest on tonight. We are closing in on the end of the program where he has to be dehydrated because
Look at
that. So call us if the numbers were pinned at the end of the screen there. +231 777 553 994. Probably going to check and see whether there were some comments or so, and then we can react to those. One who's been following, who's writing. Lincoln Kula say, good evening. I'm following from Ganta City, Nima County. Thanks so much. Milton Yeman says, I'm also following from Fishan Hospital in Riverview County, where Riverview County champions of the last edition of the county meet. Congratulations, Milton Yeman. And Timothy Sombe is following, watching live from a little corner in the municipal borough of Mikro Town, precisely Colonel West Point, Colonel West Point Community.
Colonel West.
John Wayne. John Wayne, but corner. John Wayne. The guy who wanted to over age player into Mauritania. I'm following. He says, I'm my own boy. John Wayne, former president of Blanco FC. Is that Blanco? No, DC Shooter. DC Shooter.
Expel.
He
was
expelled. Former president of Joe Community Shooters, DC Shooters. Okay, John Wayne is following. Bill Nire contested in the last election. He's following live from Switzerland, I suppose in Zurich. And then Hillary B. Johnson, fan-based president, is also following. Ase Oscar Kumet Mende, watching from West Point. We've got lots of West Point viewers this evening, where I'm going to mention that Ase Mende is LFA unique, it's an elite referee. Okay, and then the number has been pinned. We need a reaction. If we don't get any reaction, Chris, we've got to close up on this subject matter.
Just before we close up, this final question from my end. Klaus.
In Liberia, I think I had two questions. Klaus,
In Liberia,
always complain LFA should find money for them.
they want more money from the LFA. What's your view on
This commercialization issue with clubs. Clubs are not selling themselves out there and wanting
the LFA to do more for them? They are not encouraging fans to come to the game.
what will be your strategy used to encourage more fans and that club can be independent and they able to solicit money on their own?
Today, earlier this morning, I wrote the Liberia Football Association making inquiry on why winners of the various leagues have not gotten their money, their sponsorship money. I mean, I've not gotten the award money. I wrote the head of it. I've not gotten the response.
I will answer you right here.
Please, yeah. So
Will you take my answer?
I will.
Official?
No, I'm not going to take as official though, but I will listen to you, right? And this proved to us, like most of the things that I said, that clubs are struggling. When you see clubs asking for money, Chris, to run football in this country, it's very difficult.
Football is business.
So don't you
It's not because
the
the
FA is business.
don't you think the clubs winning? The FA is not the FA is not creating an environment.
How does the FA create an environment?
Did you listen to the president? Told us to go talk to the national government. The club presidents should go talk to the national government for funding. Is that our responsibility?
But you should be getting funding on your own.
Okay.
You should commercialize your club.
The avenue to attract fan-based games versus what clubs get for getting take has actually made people not interested in it anymore. Because when the FA, no, I'm telling you,
how many followers you have on Facebook.
when the FA, look at it, you see, you'll be very.
Let's see how effective your club is.
You'll be very
around.
very strong. We got a whole team that runs that.
How many followers do you have
My
on
team
Facebook?
is the first thing is just know that my team is 1 year old. This is our first season.
How many followers
My
do you have
team
on
is
Facebook?
1 year old.
Let's leave your team here. But I'm just the issue
I'm just making sure Ben is saying something else, right?
Okay.
Clubs
One
in
year
this
old club, I'm
country.
sorry for interrupting. 1 year old club, you have 2.1k legs,
That's very
2.k
good.
followers.
That's very good.
That's relatively
For one
small.
season. One season.
No, Stitches,
1 season, of course.
1 season.
Let me see what you're looking at.
2.1.
No, that's Stages SC. Okay, Stages Queen. Look at 2.5.
2.5.
1 season. Yeah, 1 season. Of course.
So how many followers are you going to get next season? How many of these normal attend your games?
Okay, see,
That gives
ask
you
the question. I'm going to answer the question.
So the issue about that's what I was saying. The league has to be attractive.
The league isn't attractive because the FA is not enabling. The FA is not creating the environment for the league to be attractive. The FA is not paying referees adequately, so you see bad officiating. That's how, and no, I'm honest. That's why you see people they're not even interested going to the league anyways.
What was
because
before the FA not paying now?
Ben,
relax.
let's take our time. You know,
We're going to bring Chris.
No, I'll come back for a long time. I'll come back because it's a good conversation though. And what I can tell you guys is that at the final analysis, I go back to where I started. Mr. President, you already served your 2 terms. Please leave football alone and go with your legacy. We will support you. We will give you all the support that you need. We will recognize you in this country. Please walk away now that is early and let us get other people running football in this country. It's the good thing for you, Mr. President.
If they create the LFA on Mustafa Raji in his 2 years term from 10,
The 2 terms.
yeah,
On a scale of 10.
On a scale of 10, what would be your rating?
Let me think. Moving the FA from the headquarters, from the I'll give him 6.
6. Mini?
No, it's not bad.
Yes, a great job.
It's not a great job. It's done good. Not a great job. 6. I'm telling you, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. And I've been very honest to say that you cannot take. You cannot take the credit from Mr. Rajiv from taking us from the
Right.
industry. Yeah, bringing us in. Exactly. Bringing us in. You cannot take that away.
Your own facility.
Your own facility, they cannot take that away. You cannot take the fact away that he actually built and implemented what was started by Mr. Benedict. All these stadiums and right, all the presidents will not do that. You cannot take that away from Mr.
Improvement of
Rajiv.
women football.
At
Over
certain level,
I agree.
you also cannot take that away from the president. You also cannot take away from the president that within the few years we got a scoreboard that he paid 300,000 for. We got the FA headquarters.
It don't come on.
Yeah, it come on. The FA headquarters over there where it's turned out to be $1.9 million now. You cannot take away that as we speak today, clubs that won in various leagues have not gotten their championship money.
So
you cannot take away from this president that he took his former SG to court. We also cannot take away from this president.
That's why you're giving 6.
His leader manager has just resigned.
And that's why
I'm giving 6.
I mean,
So he
that's the comment I should take.
No, let me just say. You talk about clubs that won championship,
not getting paid,
but there's no universal term mandate to pay clubs that win championship to start with. Secondly, there are factors responsible for clubs receiving their prize money. Number one, administrative procedural processes must be put into place. When all that is complete, then the club can.
Then nothing happened from the start.
Secondly, you must wait for results at hand. Now that the results are in, we know already who won. Thirdly, maybe the money is not available because these monies come from sponsorship and so forth. Be aware if you don't know. In fact, you are aware because you're a stakeholder. The biggest funder of the FA, two of them, CAF and FIFA, they bring in or send money
in
January and July. That's one. And these two competitions are sponsored by Orange Liberia and Petrol Trade, Dogsped, and so forth. So if the fundings have not come,
so on the record, then you as an employee now, you as an employee, right? As a contractor to the FA, on the record,
as an employee,
as a contractor to the FA, if I'm right, either way, employer or contractor. You want to tell me that Dogsped and these companies has not provided it? I mean, it's fair.
So what do you want to tell me? I want to ask the money.
No, but I want you to tell me if on the record that those agents or companies has not provided the money to them.
What I'm going to tell you is that whatever happens, those clubs won the championship.
You know what I think happened? I think the FA has used the money and waiting for salvation to call that you will call.
Use the money from where?
The money was provided by these until they can respond to my email.
Supposing.
Yes, of course, I wrote in this morning until they can respond to my email. I wrote the SG right here.
You're supposing that.
No, that's what I said. I will assume that until they get back to me that the
And we are out of time. We are out of time, guys.
And the cover in the hole.
So we have to go because I'll be getting on motorbike. It's been a fruitful conversation. Thank you, Mr. Weah, for passing by. Chris, we got to go.
Thank you, Mr. Weah. It was nice being here tonight, and I think it is fascinating. This is why this platform, we created this platform to bring everyone here. Like I said from the initial stage, if the media do not help in developing